What's up, everybody? Well, today I thought I'd bring you another vacuum that I currently own. Yes, this is another stick vac. I decided to toy around getting a backup stick vac because A, I love vacuums and I like getting them. Two, since my other stick vac was a little bit of a project and I had to rig up a filter setup just to run the thing, in case that doesn't work, I wanted a fully functional stick vac to back me up. And so I decided to come across this. A Hoover Quik Broom 2, model S2095. I definitely like the Hoover Quik Broom stick vacs. I almost wanted to get another one that's just like the S2571 that I have, but then it made me realize that I do not have the older Regina electric broom style Quik Broom, which I definitely wanted this model because this is the one I grew up with and was actually the first Hoover stick vac I've ever used. And this is what started my love for these older style Hoover Quik Brooms. The newer ones were admittedly pretty good, but these older ones definitely were a force to be reckoned with. Yes, they're of a different design than their successor. But anyway, as I said, this is the older model of Hoover Quik Broom that was loosely based off the Regina electric broom, which that one was made from like the early 50s all the way up to the 90s. And then Hoover, who was having their Quik Brooms out since I think the 70s and 80s, they wanted to restyle their Quik Brooms, and so they called them the Quik Broom 2s, and which is of a completely different design, and which Hoover loosely based this off the Regina electric broom, because this is now bagless as opposed to bagged like the old Quik Brooms were. And fun fact, according to YouTube user Rick Hoover, he actually mentioned that Regina actually tried to sue Hoover over patent infringement because the design of this is almost exactly the same as the Regina electric broom, only the court ended up siding with Hoover because at the time the patent for the electric broom had expired back then. So that's what gave Hoover the opportunity to make the Quik Broom 2s. And these lasted until I think it was either 95 or 94 when they decided to restyle them. And that's the Quik Brooms as we know of today. The S2571 is one of them that I have. The S2541 is another one. That's the Hunter Green model. That's the lower end with the single speed. This one, however, is the base model with the single speed, and it has only a 3 amp motor, which makes this definitely the base model. There was another version of the Quik Broom 2. I remember there was the blue model that had the translucent dust cup, and it was a 2-speed. Then I remember there was a red model that had the deluxe style rug and bare floor tool, translucent dust cup, but 3-speed motor. And that would have been nice to have, but either one of those, the blue model or the red model, would have been a nice one to have, but I honestly like this white base model one because it's the one I grew up with. It's definitely not the most powerful as it was back then, but it works for the time being. Arguably, I think it just works better than my S2571. So like I said, this is bagless. So anyway, you just pull this tab to the right and you can release your dust cup. There's a little bit of dirt and stuff in there. But interesting fact how this thing works is that this motor is actually, believe it or not, a direct air. So how it works is there's a fan that sits inside there and all the suction goes straight to the floor head, which surprisingly this has excellent suction for being a direct air based machine. But everything goes through a fan, but then it eventually blows into the dust cup. And this upper portion right here, which looks like an outer bag, actually acts as a filter material. So all the dirt will get trapped on the inside of the outer bag. It's kind of hard to see without turning the flash on, but all the dirt will get stuck inside the outer bag filter material, and all the heavy particles will just fall straight into the bottom of the dust cup. So in order to get most of the dirt out, it's easier to just push this spring-loaded action on the dirt bin, and that will shake off most of the dirt. I'll go ahead and demonstrate that later. Oops, almost dropped my camera. And right here is your basic power switch setup. So anyway, like I said, this is spring-loaded. The one thing I do like about the spring-loaded, this kind of acts also as a quick release cord. So you just push that down, and then you can release your cord. I'll set that to the side for now, but here's how it works. Just shake up most of the dirt you can, squish the bag around for safe measure, and then most of the dirt you picked up will eventually drop to the bottom. And let's go ahead and turn it over to show you the model number. Here it is, Hoover cleaner model S2095. 120 volts, 60 hertz, 3 amps. So this has a pretty small motor. In fact, it's about the same size motor as my very vintage Royal 880 upright. Here's the serial number on this. I can tell you the first 4 digits of the serial actually decode the month and the year that this was made. So this was made in January of 1988. For household use only, assembled in Mexico, but parts made in the USA. So, I think I've pretty much shown you everything. Well, actually not everything. One more thing I would like to point out on the bare floor tool. It's got this edge cleaning, which basically is just little air paths cut out in the floor nozzle to channel the suction from side to side. And also there are some brushes on the underside of the machine that when you switch to the bare floor, the brushes are out. Basically push it right and the brushes will articulate to whatever carpet's setting you're on. So it kind of still acts as a sweeper and whatnot, but it can adjust to whatever carpet. And also another thing I found out, if you push it in and push the tab to the right, these will lock in place and you don't have to have brushes, but I find it nice just to have it out. Also, you do have front wheels right here. This is the days before they decided to add the rear wheels because a lot of surfaces were getting scratched back then. So anyway, let's go ahead and plug this sucker in. Now I'm going to go ahead and turn this thing on and demo it for you guys. Now, unfortunately, because this is the days of the direct air one, it tends to be pretty noisy, so headphone users, I'd like to give you a heads up so you can turn your volume down. So, here we go. do liking how this particular head is able to swivel left and right. Kind of adds on the maneuverability. Alright, let's go ahead and see what it picked up in those few runs. Probably didn't pick up much, but yeah, it's kind of hard for me to do this all one-handed. Probably didn't pick up much, but wow, I'll be dang. This thing picked up a lot more than I expected. So you can just see how good of a performer this thing is compared to my newer S2095. But maybe one of these days I'll have to battle that thing out with this. One of these days to see which one's the best, but that'll be a later video. So I hope you enjoyed this little video on the Hoover Quik Broom 2. I hope you enjoyed it. Be sure and stay tuned. Don't forget to like, rate, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.